All right, welcome back to Chai and Chat. I'm Zainab, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Dr. Sarosh. Here at Tusking Wellness, we're all about creating spaces for real conversations on mental health, wellness, and what it truly means to be well. Today, we're especially excited because we have someone who has been a driving force in community advocacy and has also been incredibly engaged with us at Tusking Wellness. Our guest, Ishrat, is a passionate and tireless advocate for families and youth in the Flemington and Thorncliffe Park communities. And we're so grateful to have her here today. Thank you, Ashrit, for being with us today.
So much for having me. It's an honor to be with Dr. Sarisha and you, Zainab.
Thank you for coming in, Eshrat, and talking to us. We were really inspired by your journey and your work that you have done in the community and continue to do in the Thorncliffe Park, Flemington Park community. And having known you for the past maybe 3 years now, it's been just a joy to get to know you. So it's really be great to hear from you how your journey began and the decisions you made to come to the point where you are now with the work that you're doing in the community. So maybe we can start first with what are the type of things you're doing in the community.
I'm just involved with most with newcomer woman and newcomer family because I was an immigrant here. I knew how it was difficult to get used to the country, to settle to the new country with different culture, especially in Toronto. During COVID, I was very involved with food insecurity. Still until now, I'm involved with food insecurity. And just if they have any question regarding to the agency like Flemington Health Center or TNO other agency, just we just connect them to the agency. And for the most of them looking for job or those women, they don't have voice. We try to be their voice and to teach them because they are coming to the country, they can practice their right, they can stand for themselves. Because I've been through so much, I want to be there for others.
Mhm.
If I can change, I can do anything for them, I will be there for them.
That's amazing. Your the generosity that you show with your work. And it sounds like you're really connecting people. You're recognizing what they're going through and something important that you said. You give them, you become their voice until they can find their own voice and you connect them to what they need. So in your work, it's called, there's a name for that, right? It's the ambassador, or is
Yep,
that?
I'm community health ambassador.
Yeah.
And
Can you
we
talk?
started that. I'm employee of Flemington Health Center. We started that job after during COVID, and then we are working on that. And then my free time, I'm doing volunteer job for senior, especially those senior that are vulnerable senior. They have just they are not feeling well or they are physical problem they have or mental problem or they don't have anyone to take care of them. They are single. Some of them they don't have any sibling here in Canada. And every Wednesday I'm just going to the that senior building and do some shopping or if they need anything, sometimes listening to their story to be like their own daughter or friend.
Hmm.
And most of senior, they want to talk, they want to share their story with someone to listen to them very carefully because we have to respect our older.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad what I'm doing on Wednesday. And
So some of the things that when you're working with people, it sounds like you're listening so intently to them and you're gathering how they're feeling and then you're reflecting back and you're also respectful of where they came from, their culture, their background. So it's such a nice mix of your ability to be flexible and yet honor other people and also bring in your learnings. So if you could tell us a little bit about what is it as an ambassador that you do in your work? What does it bring? What kind of things you bring to the table with the ambassador work?
no, we have most of time we have event like event related to mental health or even related to the festival, summer festival or Ramadan. We're going to have another event. Our event is coming during March. Is going to be in Ramadan. We invite all come. We just invite residents from the Pelemendon and Turncliffe for iftar. And sometimes we have like a workshop. Most of the time is a workshop, and that workshop, workshop about healthy eating, especially for those people coming new here, and we just teach them they can do shopping, which kind of store they can do shopping, low cost and good quality, or can do price match.
So it's really sounds very practical, everyday things that you almost welcoming them, helping them understand the new culture, things that immigrants struggle with. You're already thinking ahead of time and making them comfortable. And it seems so helpful for them to have that. It sounds like that to me.
Yeah, it was especially with police. It was so many things. Honestly, some of them I didn't know. Police. It was telling to the parents how they should be careful with kids. They can be involved with a gang or things like that. If your kids coming home with fancy clothes, you have to ask them where they get it, how they get it, and you have to be careful with our kids, and especially we have to trust to the police, especially in the Thorncliffe and Felemendon. We have those police. They are very friendly and kind, and always they are there for us if we have question. And it was a great experience for them, and they knew those police is like other, just like friend, neighbor. Whenever we have question or we are struggling, or especially these days, lots of fraud and scam happen, and they taught them. It was a very informative.
So it seems like lifting the barrier, like people are scared of the police or they don't trust the police
Yeah,
because they come from. But now
yeah,
at
yes,
these community events, it seems to start to build that trust so people can, police are part of a community partner. So they are there to,
yes,
rather than to make it
yes,
for you.
yes.
What I was wondering was how I know that at Taskeen you had some time where you had some experience and there's a community of practice. There's also some seminars that you attended. Could you speak how that learning has come or has allowed you to connect more or with people that have mental health issues?
Yeah, one of the things I don't know you remember. I think you remember we had another workshop. It was last year, and it was from Taskin, and we had 2 3 event with Taskin. We had it was one. It was in Science Center. We had a one event in Science Center. Another one it was in the school, high school, my Karna's school, and then we had another one. It was in the Thorncliffe community. I was after that event. Angela was there, and I forget the name. Our your colleague. She was. I forget her name. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Rabia.
Rabia. She was on there, and then more than 5 and 6 women. They came to me. They told me it was first time we found out we have a mental health problem.
Mm.
And then first time we just learned how we living in home with husband and kids with domestic violence. We couldn't talk about that. We couldn't stand for our right, and we couldn't talk to anybody. We thought it's normal.
Mm.
As somebody abusing you or husband or children, son, and then you are not able to speak out, to
Mm.
stand for yourself. And those women thanking us and thanking Tasking for bringing up that important issue about their right. And it's good to know because especially these days, so many people are struggling with mental health.
Yeah.
And they're not able to talk about that. And it is kind of workshop and event can teach them to know. And I know for sure those mom coming from the family with 2 3 or 5 6 kids, and they can help their own family. Each of us individually, if we help our family, I know it's going to.
It magnifies and multiplies the amount of
Yeah, Yeah, they can talk. And then they told me, they said, okay, I talked to my neighbor, I talked to my friend, how mental health is important, how being happy mommy is very important. Kids coming from a school to be ready to smile to your kids. And these things, it was really good. And I hope we have more this kind of workshop and event for our community.
So that, I think that's really heartwarming to hear, because one of the main purposes of Taskeen is to start mental health conversations, to break down the barriers, because many places that immigrants come from, those places, I myself am from a place like that where it's not allowed, or it's not
Yes.
considered. That's one of the things that is the aim for Taskeen. How has your experience been in the community of practice when we get together once a month to discuss?
It was awesome. It was wonderful. For myself, it was a great journey. Not because I'm just today I have a chance. I know it's talking. Always I was saying that monthly, meeting with you and with your group, and it for me it was honestly a learning journey. And then I use all those skill and tools, and then I use it for my community. Those women are, because we have lots of women. Everybody knows we are coming from country, most of us, we've been suppressed. We couldn't stand for ourselves, and everybody knows that. And this kind of just a monthly meeting, or especially monthly meeting for me, and it was just like a university or college to learn and take away from you as a doctor. You have a great experience, you study, you work. And then I was taking, or every month taking something very important with me and using those tools for the community and talking to those women. And it worked. And still we have so many women every week. We just facing with them. We just becoming our family, just telling them, okay, you're okay, you can go study, and you can go college, or first you can go English class or link to learn, and just at least you can take care of yourself. This is different country, you have the opportunity.
It's
And we
on
take,
taking those seeds, and you're putting those seeds down, and
yeah,
people, and then they can do the same thing for other women, right? And
yeah,
your journey is so impressive, because you have the ambassador work, but then you've learned so much about mental health, and you've beautifully brought it together, and just in a very nice way. And you make it look really easy to just listen to people attentively. Part of the mental health piece is listening and giving attention, and really listening to not just the words, but what is the person really saying, right?
yeah, yes, how you can sometimes, if, because before I was just taking that time to coming to the meeting, I was trying to advise somebody. My advice is totally different. I know how to talk to people, how to be careful and cautious, because word is coming from your mouth. Sometimes they can destroy somebody's life, especially those people facing with mental health. And I learn all those things one by one, slowly. And then I'm very careful to talk to those people facing with mental health, and very careful and cautious about that.
It's amazing, gratifying work, and it also is very hard, emotionally hard work. Do you find yourself getting overwhelmed and emotional because you hear so much suffering about so
Of,
much?
of course, as a human, sometimes our capacity is not, sometimes is not, they can take everything. You are not able to take everything. And I just cry because so many things happened for me, especially I was here, ups and downs, job, taking back to normal life. And especially you bring your children with you, and for kids coming to new country to learning new culture is not easy. And you have to be, sometimes you have to be rock, someone to manage everything same time. It wasn't easy. I get the help I needed. I
So
just called
many
a friend.
people that are helpers, that help people, they feel I can just give, but I can't help myself. And what I hear from you is so good. There's such a good balance. where you're not only helping people, you're also aware of where you are, how you're struggling. You're saying to yourself, I need to get help because you need to be there for your family. But before you could do that, you have to be well and healthy mentally and physically. So it's so amazing that you have that knowledge and insight about yourself.
Yeah, I learned from you, Dr. Sarush, and I learned from the training we had. I learned from others. You have to, especially if you're coming to a new country. I didn't know I'm just going to have so much. I will be tested. I will be struggling. I didn't know that. I thought I'm coming to the country I was watching from TV and everything going to be great. No, it
Mhm.
wasn't everything great. I try my best. I try my best to take something from all those things happen good and positive to my home and try to make my home, my kids and my husband and my children enjoy the home I made it and now by my husband. First by myself because my husband didn't come. I was alone here and then trying my best. Sometimes I was crying, honestly, Dr. Prusia,
Yep.
go outside
Yourself,
crying.
that's so brave. So you first came yourself, and then you
Yes. Yeah,
what?
my husband, yeah. He didn't
How,
like it.
how did the decision to come here? How did that start? What were your goals? And
Yeah, because I was an activist back home and I was struggling a lot because of Iranian regime and I was
activist in Iran?
yeah, and then I was woman activist
Amazing.
and it was more than maybe yes, it was more than 20 years I was fighting for that. And then I thought I'm not going to continue that life because I was worried about my kids
Mm.
because they are following me and same for my oldest one and second one, all of them. They're becoming just like me. I was so scared to put them in the danger and I said, I'm not going to do that. And then I had my husband's support because without his support, I couldn't make it. If you want to apply for a Canadian status, it wasn't easy. It took me like more than 6 years to applying and take the Canadian, PR. And because of that, I had a life, everything. I was working. My husband, he was working. I had everything. I
What
was middle.
kind of
I was
work?
a teacher. Yeah, I was teacher. My husband, he was in study and I was teaching in university. And then I had my small business. And beside teaching, I had a cooking class.
Mm.
And then I thought I'm not going to continue that life to scare. Every day I was scared. Scared not because I scared of myself, I was scared about my family, my kids. Yeah, because that country it wasn't safe for me and for my kids.
As an actor,
And
you can come under a lot of pressure.
yeah, because I was all the time I had something to say, and always my family saying to me, "Don't do that. You're going to put all of us in the danger. You shouldn't talk like that." If I go to the store to see people suffering, I was standing behalf of them talking. Go to the bus or go to the small gathering. I was telling things and I shouldn't tell, and still
Why,
I'm
why
just
did you be such a strong voice for people? How were there childhood in your childhood there were people that you look up to that did that?
my mom. And my mom, my dad, he was very quiet person. And my mom, she was very brave. She taught me to stand for myself. Always she was telling me, if you want to be successful woman, you have to build your life. You have to make something for yourself. You shouldn't ask your husband for money and your economic way. And you women should have their own, build their own life. They don't need to somebody to look after, and you have to do something as a woman and as a mom, and you don't need to seek somebody to give you money. Always she was saying me, Eshrat, you shouldn't put your hand to your husband pocket. You should make your own money, and you build your confidence. That's really important. And it was honestly, I'm so glad to listen to her. My
Mm.
husband he never ever asked this thing, and he was supporting me too, and he was telling me,
partner who can support a strong woman. Many men are actually, they don't like that, right? Because
You don't want to be my mom always telling me, you don't need to be dependent to somebody. You
mm,
have to be independent to yourself. You have to do something for yourself. You're going to teach your kids and your children, they have to know you're a strong woman. And you have to have voice. And she was the one standing for all her brother and sister and her own way. And then I just learned from her.
and I'm sure your children are seeing you do.
Yeah, always they are telling me, Mom, and every day I have something to do for someone, you know. Yes.
Caring. One of the things I wanted to touch upon, which is a very hard topic to talk about, but I know it's very much present in the community. There's been incidents of suicide.
Yes.
On the one hand, we're talking about starting conversations about mental health. And on the other hand, some people are feeling hopeless and they're ending up ending their life.
Yes.
How has that affected you? You're working in the community and you're facing some of these things.
It's heartbreaking. It was like I think it was 5 months ago. One of our resident from Thorncliffe, he was just jumped from the ninth floor, and after he just heard he got rejected from immigration, he's not able to stay longer in Canada, and he has to back home. And he just jumped from the nine, and then the ninth floor hit his building. It was honestly, it was heartbreaking to see somebody, because if I knew he had mental issue, otherwise, if somebody tell you, okay, you have to go back to your home, you are not welcome anymore, stay in my home, I don't have space for you, and you should accept that. I know for sure, I don't judge him. I knew he whatever he planted, he lose everything, his money and things. He didn't have any hope. He said, "Oh, I'm a hopeless father. I have 6 kids. I didn't do anything." It was breaking my heart. It was really sad to see someone take his own life because he thought he's not a good father and he's not a good provider. And same thing happened to one of our. It was close by my home here in my area. It was a girl. Same thing. She just jumped from
Mhm.
her apartment. Same thing happened 2 months ago.
So,
And
so many people losing hope.
yes, because of lacking the
Bill.
job. Yeah, especially for, I don't know, because I'm facing more with immigrant people. They're coming here with lots of hope.
Mhm.
And I think we have to be for any of us, if we have planned to leaving our country, we have to do our search, to ask normal people, not watching TV,
Mhm.
and see how life is going to be. Are we able to continue living Canada without any money for more than 2, 3 years?
Mhm.
Without any, otherwise we shouldn't make this kind of decision. Especially for women, they don't have enough money with kids, or it's not easy to see your own people from your own community taking their life because of economic or poverty.
It's
It's really hard.
yeah. Is there anything that you would want to say as a message to other people that are thinking about doing the kind of work that you do? Because I know some of people like you, they're involved and they're so busy and their heart is into it. And I wonder if a younger generation is being brought up to do the same type of amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, they can do this is my 5th year we doing Ramadan meal project, and we just feeding like more than 1,000 people every month, more than like 1,500 or sometime 2,000 or something like that. And I know every year, if my husband and kids said, "Mom, stop," I said, "No, I have to do whenever it's going to take my time. I'm just healthy and I can do it." Why? Because I know for sure what this kind of charity or work we are doing for community is coming back to our life.
Mhm.
You get positive energy. It's good for your mental health. You take care of your community, take care of your friend, and They are becoming your own family. Why not? If we have time and we have to go out, we have to take somebody's in need to take their hand and help them. At least you can be somebody to be translate for someone, or you can make appointment for a senior, or you can do grocery shopping. It's okay if you're going to the market or supermarket to doing shopping for yourself. It's okay. You can do shopping for your senior or your friend. They don't have car. They are new here. They have kids. It's not easy winter time to walk to the store.
It's
Or
takes a generousness of heart, and also being able to put yourself in another person's experience and saying, what must they be feeling? Let me out, right?
It's a good, honestly, Dr. Sarush, is a good feeling. It's an amazing feeling to day after you're back home. Every time I'm back home and open the door, I said, oh, thank God. I did that for somebody. I'm so glad. Allah gave me that opportunity. Honestly, that I'm so lucky because of Allah give me that opportunity to be there for the community, to take their hand, and they take my hand too. I'm supporting them. They are supporting me too. It's not one way.
That's amazing. Zainab, did you have any questions for Ishrat?
Yeah, I just had one, and I guess it's similar to the one that Dr. Sarosh had asked. But if you could go back and give yourself, who was younger, advice on starting this journey, what would you tell your younger self?
We have to be thankful what we have. We just see using simple word for them, and we just give
Yes,
them that energy.
power of being grateful and gratitude, right?
Yeah, gratitude. Yes,
Of little
yes,
things that are so big, right? Just being
yeah,
thankful. That's what I'm
yes,
doing, which
yes.
is brings more and more positive stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Especially these days, people facing with difficulty because they don't have job is not there, and rent and everything, economic, everything is not good, and we have to be there for each other to support each other. I know for sure we will pass from this journey to difficult time. I promise everybody. I said no worry, this time is going away. We have to be patient. We have to take care of each other, and it's coming good always. You be positive, always good thing coming to you.
That's amazing. I really feel so good talking to you. It's hearing such sincerity. Is
Thank you so much.
there anything you would want to say at the end of our discussion today?
I just want to thank you, my grandson. I would just want to thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to be part of your podcast, and I want to thank Zainab and you, Dr. Sarush. And it was a great opportunity to talk to other and share my experience. And you can be positive, always thinking about positive thing, and I know Allah bring good thing to your life. That's it.
Thank you so much for being part of our podcast. And
Thank you.
restart the community of practice. We're looking forward to having you back.
It would be my pleasure, and have a good night. Thank you, Zainab,
Thank you
and
so
take
much.
care.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You too. Good night.
Good night. And that's the end of our podcast. All right. Thank you everyone for joining Chai and Chat, and tune in with us next time.